Welcome back to Breakup Cheater, where we share real stories about love, heartbreak, and personal growth. Today's story is about finding strength when the person you love doesn't respect who you are, and how sometimes the hardest endings lead to the most powerful new beginnings. If you've ever felt underestimated or overlooked, this story is for you. Let's dive in. When I first met Emma, I honestly thought I'd found something rare, something special. She was exactly the kind of partner I had always dreamed of, sharp-minded, driven, and effortlessly captivating. Her laughter had this rare quality, warm, genuine, and uninhibited, that would draw the attention of everyone around. We crossed paths at a mutual friend's dinner party, and from the moment she laughed that full, carefree laugh, I was completely hooked. There was something magnetic about her. The way she carried herself, the subtle kindness she showed to everyone, making each person feel seen and important. It was impossible not to be drawn in. Our connection ignited quickly. Within a few months, Emma and I were practically inseparable. Our weekends became a series of spontaneous adventures, road trips with no set destination, early mornings spent sipping coffee and talking about the future, and quiet evenings where the world felt like it belonged only to us. We built a world filled with inside jokes, whispered dreams, and a deep understanding that this was more than just a fling. It was real and lasting. Emma's career was soaring. She worked in the fast-paced world of finance, a demanding environment where only the strongest thrived. She had that rare ability to walk into a room and command attention without even trying. Her colleagues admired her sharp wit and unwavering confidence. Her superiors trusted her implicitly. Watching her climb the corporate ladder filled me with pride. She was the embodiment of success, grace under pressure. My own journey was different but no less meaningful. I owned a landscaping business, a small company I'd built from scratch with my own hands. It wasn't glamorous or flashy, the kind of job people bragged about at cocktail parties, but it was mine. There was a quiet satisfaction in transforming wild, untamed spaces into something beautiful and orderly. It was more than just work, it was purpose. Each project was a testament to patience, vision, and sweat-earned pride. Emma often told me she admired that about me, that I wasn't chasing status or corporate prestige but was instead creating something authentic. She said I inspired her, and for a long time I believed her. At first, the subtle shifts in our dynamic went unnoticed. Emma's comments about my work started off playful, almost teasing. "You wouldn't survive a day in my office," she'd say with a smirk, venting about her stressful meetings. Or, "Must be nice to spend your days outside instead of stuck behind a desk." I laughed along, thinking it was just harmless banter. Her way to blow off steam, not a dig at me. But over time, those comments evolved, becoming sharper and harder to ignore. At a dinner with friends, Emma joked, "He gets to play in the dirt all day while we handle real deadlines." The room laughed, and I forced a smile, telling myself I was reading too much into it. But the pattern was clear. Emma wasn't taking my work seriously. Still, I loved her. I convinced myself these moments didn't define her feelings. She was stressed, maybe oblivious to how her words cut. I told myself she didn't mean it. Then I proposed. It wasn't a grand gesture, no flash or fanfare. Just a quiet evening at home when everything felt right. I poured my heart out, telling her how much I loved her and how excited I was to spend my life with her. Emma said yes, kissed me, and for a brief time all felt perfect. But the cracks were already there. The breaking point came at one of Emma's corporate parties. It was a lavish affair at an upscale venue, with dimmed lights, classical music, and servers gliding through the crowd with trays of delicate hors d'oeuvres. Emma insisted I attend, wanting me to meet her colleagues and experience her world. I felt out of place. Corporate events weren't in my comfort zone, but I wanted to support her, so I dressed sharply and stepped into her universe. First, things seemed okay. Emma introduced me with her usual radiant charm, her hand resting lightly on my arm. I smiled, shook hands, and made polite conversation. Then the inevitable question arrived. "So, what do you do?" A man in a tailored suit, wrist glinting with an expensive watch, asked. I told him about my landscaping business, explaining how I transformed outdoor spaces into places of beauty and peace. His reaction was subtle but unmistakable. A raised eyebrow, a polite but dismissive smile. "Interesting," he said. As the night wore on, this scene repeated itself. Each new introduction, the same question, the same veiled condescension. And then Emma joined in. When someone asked how we met, hoping for a romantic story, Emma chuckled and said, "Oh, he's my hard-working handyman." The group laughed. I felt my heart sink. Hard-working handyman. That's how she chose to describe me. It worsened. A colleague, emboldened by drinks, joked about Emma dating down. Emma laughed wholeheartedly, never once defending me. Then the final blow. When asked if she thought my business could ever grow into something real, Emma smirked. "Maybe someday he'll landscape for CEOs instead of retirees," prompting another round of laughter. I didn't laugh. I looked at Emma, searching for any sign of remorse or understanding. She was too caught up in the moment, basking in the attention. That was the last straw. I quietly placed my drink down. "I think I've had enough," I said. Emma looked at me, confused. "Where are you going?" "Home," I replied. "You can explain to your friends." The drive back was silent. My hands gripped the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles whitened. Every humiliating moment replayed in my mind. At home I faced her, voice calm but cold. "What the hell was that?" Emma looked baffled. "What do you mean?" "You know exactly what I mean. The jokes, the laughter, your colleagues mocking me, and you joining in. Is that really how you see me?" She sighed, rolling her eyes. "You're overreacting." It was nothing. Anger welled up inside me. They treated me like I didn't belong, and instead of standing up for me, you made it worse. Her expression softened briefly. Then she said the thing that shattered me completely. "It's not like your job is prestigious or anything. You mow lawns for a living. What did you expect?" Something inside me broke. "Is that all you think I do?" She said nothing. I nodded slowly, the decision clear. "I can't do this." "Do what?" she asked. This engagement. I can't marry someone who doesn't respect me." For a moment I thought she might apologize. Instead, she crossed her arms and said, "Fine. Maybe we shouldn't get married." "Maybe we shouldn't," I agreed. I took off the ring I had given her and placed it on the counter. The cold metal felt like a cruel reminder of what had been lost, a symbol of love now just an object. "Goodbye, Emma." And just like that it was over. The days that followed blurred together. One moment we were planning a wedding. The next, nothing. Emma was gone from my life as swiftly as she had entered it. At first it didn't feel real. I caught myself waiting for her to walk through the door, half expecting a casual "hey," as if nothing had changed. I reached for my phone, ready to text her, only to remember there was no reason. The silence was deafening. The emptiness was everywhere, especially in the closet where her clothes once hung. Something as simple as an empty hanger carried the weight of 1,000 words unsaid. But what hurt the most wasn't the loneliness. It was the questions. Had she ever truly loved me? Had she always looked down on what I did? And if so, why say yes when I proposed? Those doubts whispered to me in the quietest hours, refusing to be ignored. I threw myself into my work. My landscaping business, once a source of pride, became my refuge. Creating beauty out of chaos gave me control when everything else felt uncertain. Each satisfied client was a reminder. I was good at what I did. My work mattered. Friends rallied around me. "She didn't deserve you," one said over drinks. It was a cliché, sure, but sometimes clichés are what you need. My family was just as supportive. My mother, never shy with her opinions, said firmly. She was blind to how lucky she was. Slowly, I began reclaiming myself. I started running again, feeling the early morning air fill my lungs. I took up journaling, putting every lingering hurt and resentment onto paper. Helped me breathe. Then one evening, scrolling through social media, I saw Emma, dressed elegantly at another corporate event, glass of champagne in hand, smiling for the camera, surrounded by colleagues. For a brief second, something stirred inside me. Anger, sadness, maybe nostalgia. Then it passed. It didn't matter anymore. She was living her life. I was living mine. And for the first time since the breakup, I realized I was okay. 6 months later, my business was thriving like never before. What began as a way to distract myself became the most successful period of my career. High-profile clients took notice, projects grew bigger, payments got better, and I felt like I was becoming the man I always wanted to be. The breakup was painful, but it forced me to reevaluate, not just what I wanted in a partner, but what I deserved. Then, unexpectedly, I got a text from an unknown number. "Hey, it's Emma. Can we talk?" My first instinct was to ignore it. What could she possibly want now? But curiosity got the better of me. After a pause, I replied, "What do you want?" She was straightforward. "I've been thinking about what happened. I want to apologize." We met at a small coffee shop, a place we had visited once before. She was already there, looking tired and a little lost. "Thanks for meeting me," she said. "What's this about?" Yes. She fidgeted with her coffee cup. "I owe you an apology. For everything. How I treated you, what I said that night. I was wrong. I didn't realize how much I hurt you. I was so caught up in my own world. I didn't see how disrespectful I was being. You deserved better." Her words sounded sincere, but they couldn't erase the past. "I appreciate the apology," I said. "But why now? What's changed?" She looked down, stirring her coffee. "I've had a rough year. Work's been tough, and I've had time to reflect. I can't undo what I did, but I wanted you to know I'm sorry." For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. "I'm glad you reflected," I said. "But your apology doesn't change what happened. You didn't just hurt me, you made me feel small. That's not something I can forget." Tears welled up in her eyes. She nodded. I stood up, feeling lighter than I had in months. "Take care, Emma." Walking out of that coffee shop, I felt something unexpected. Closure. Her apology hadn't fixed anything, but it allowed me to fully let go. Life after Emma flourished. My business reached new heights, including a corporate client who hired me to redesign the landscaping for their office. An office building just blocks from Emma's company. The irony wasn't lost on me. The work Emma once belittled had become respected and prestigious. Beyond work, my personal life grew richer. I reconnected with old friends, spent more time outside, and eventually started dating again. One woman, Sarah, I'd known since college, came back into my life. Everything between us felt effortless. She was warm, funny, and most importantly, she respected me. Truly respected me. One evening, walking through a park I had designed, she turned to me and said, "You create beauty. How many people can say that about their job?" For so long, Emma's words had made me doubt my worth. But Sarah saw me. She valued what I did. Looking back, I realize how much I've grown. That painful breakup was necessary. It forced me to see not only what I wanted in a partner, but what I deserved. Respect. Quality. Love. Now my life is exactly where it should be. My business thrives, my relationships are strong, and I found someone who truly sees me. Sometimes the hardest decisions turn out to be the best ones. And to anyone who's ever felt disrespected or undervalued, don't settle. Thank you for listening to this journey of heartbreak, self-respect, and healing. Remember, you deserve to be loved for who you truly are, and never settle for anything less than respect and kindness. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more honest stories that inspire strength and growth. Until next time, take care of yourself and keep believing in your worth.